welcome to episode 32, which is called The Problem with AI Content for Hotels. It was originally going to be a red flag, green flag, but we read all the statements and now it can't be a red flag, green flag.
Because we know what to say.
Because we know what's coming up. I mean, we could still argue about them.
And we also didn't have any red flags.
Or green flags.
Or green flags.
I mean, some might say you are a walking red flag.
I mean...
No retort to that. I think prosecution rests.
Okay.
So today we're going to talk about the problem. Plus, full disclosure, there's a new sandwich shop that's opened up in Lancaster, and both Tristan and I want a cheese toastie for lunch. So we might rattle through this pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Green, red.
Green, red. Boom!
Done. See you next time, kids, for another
fascinating episode of What Did This Cheese Toastie Taste Like?
Anyway, right. Let's talk about AI, the problem with AI content. GFRF statements to debate. AI is, I mean, they're quite good actually. The idea being is about.
You expect them to be bad? I mean, that's a slight on Alex.
No, but they're
always good.
They're really. We could really rip these apart.
Okay.
And tear into these
with flags.
Gently caress them with flags. AI, because we were talking about this yesterday. AI. Here's a statement. AI is killing creativity. All hotel content is starting to sound the same. I went to a presentation yesterday here as a tech lunch that Jane did. A very smart lady, and one of the problems people have now is they're forgetting how to think because they're outsourcing thinking.
What?
Now, don't answer straight away.
Okay.
If you want to pull your phone out, you can ask how to respond to that.
My what now?
The problem is people are outsourcing thought and outsourcing creativity. The idea being you don't need to think about the best way to compose an email.
Yeah.
You don't need to think about much anymore because it can just... The things I ask GPT.
Yeah, I know. I've seen your GPT history. I mean, that's really bad. Okay. You should delete some of them.
Probably go now.
Yeah, I should probably delete some of them. Yeah, I'll make a pact. I will delete it if you die. Yeah. Done. Okay. No,
is it making people stupid? Is it making creativity? Is it basically beating out of existence? Hey GPT, write me an article about the top 10 places to go if I want a fish taco in downtown Miami.
Partly yes, but also partly no. Because one thing that I would say about AI, especially AIO, GEO, LLMO, whatever the hell, LAO, yeah. The thing about that is it's shone a spotlight on a very dark area and underused, underutilized and completely ignored area of the internet, which is SEO.
True.
And I think now more people are interested in AIO. Well, you can't have AIO without some of the basic fundamentals you need for SEO.
Interesting.
You need to have a bedrock there for AIO to even work in the first place. So I think from that point of view, the AI has been fantastic for the hotel industry. But to the point that the angle that this was going from, I agree. I do think that some of the content that's coming out is, you can tell it's AI. It's a little samey. I don't think people quite yet know how to use it efficiently and not sounding like that. But, basically giving it more information, making it a tool that you use, because the tool's so easy to use, but generically, the outputs become generic. Okay. But it's basically a typewriter, isn't it?
I'm going to get comfortable.
You're going to get comfortable.
I feel like we're going to go to town this one.
Yeah, it's basically it's not a typewriter. It's a Word document.
Yes.
That Word document can be, elementary school level or Shakespearean. Yeah. It's the input that you put it. And it's exactly the same with AI. Okay. I think so. AI is not the problem. It's us as a people using it, and to your point, getting a bit dumber.
Outsourcing thought.
Yes.
To a machine.
Yeah.
Okay. I've not thought of that, mate, if I'm honest. It's a really good idea. It's shone a light on SEO. You can't have good EIO, LLMO, EI, whatever we're going to call it, without having the fundamentals of SEO in place.
Yeah.
If the statement to discuss was, is there anything good about it, or is it an absolute shit show? Then yes, there was something good about it. I do think it's killing creativity. Yeah. I do think that a lot of content is starting to sound the same. I think what we're going to see in 2026 is almost like, like you have organic chicken,
Yes.
and then you have battery farm caged chickens and free range chicken versus not free range chicken like caged. You're going to have like organic free range beef or pesticide free vegetables. You're going to have organic content, organic content, free range content, and then you're going to have farmed content. This is going to be a distinguishing factor.
The difference is the organic content that's been made by a human is going to have some fancy brown packaging on it and look very earthy.
And be twice as much.
Yeah, absolutely twice as much.
Well, so you might end up having, I don't know. So organic, God, just what a tangent this is going to be. Organic potatoes. And I never thought that should be on the next freaking bingo sheet, organic potatoes. When you have imperfections in that, and you can sort of tell that is not a mass-produced potato. And stay with me here. Stay with me. I've not lost your organic potatoes.
I am a bit hungry. All I can think about is potatoes.
Not the cheese toasty.
Yeah. Well, look, if it's a cheese toasty that's on the menu, but it wasn't. It was just potatoes.
Stay with me.
Okay, I'm with you, man.
So you have an organic potato that has imperfections, or you have this mass-produced potato which looks beautiful. I think we might start seeing organically produced content with imperfections. And that is how you know it's going to be a little bit more... an AI would never make a spelling mistake. Or an AI would never...
Well, it's funny you should say that, because I actually tell my ChatGPT to put in mistakes.
Is that what you're justifying for the emails that you send to me? It looks like a child has written them, Tris.
That is my answer that I'm sticking to legally. I've been advised to sit... No.
By GPT?
Yeah.
In a document full of spelling mistakes.
Yeah, absolutely. Who's also my doctor, lawyer, lover. No,
I can't even imagine what you meant to say then, but it wasn't lover. I use GPT to recommend wines to go with meals. I go to the supermarket, I take a picture of the wine shelf. I'm having turkey, pick one. Like, I'm not even joking, mate. And I'll go,
really?
Oh, yeah, great. What you want is really dry. No, I don't want a story, mate.
Just pick one.
Tell me why later, pick one. And then I go back to Kim, I'm like, Kim,
have I found the wine for you?
This has notes of baba, and it's only... Oh, no, shit, pick another one. not at that price. But again, like, all sort of jokey aside, I'm outsourcing thought. I'm not going to go and... I mean, I will do it because I enjoy the topic of it, but I'm not going to go tile as deep and hard as I really should do, because I can just give the thoughts to the computers to do for me. And I think sometimes we have this here. Also, without, I don't know, the AI content isn't authentic. It doesn't have, for example, I couldn't, if I was a hotelier or a social agency working for a hotel, I wouldn't be able to say, I can tell you this is a great cocktail bar because I went there once with friends for Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Or I had one of the worst breakups of my life whilst enjoying this fantastic view over the bay.
But do you not think, though, that a recommendation in itself from one human to another is in such a snapshot in time? Because you can go to a place and I can go to a place and we can have two very different experiences based on whether the bar person has had a shit day or a good day.
Yep.
Or they're understaffed versus, Doris has actually turned up this day because she hasn't got the flu anymore.
Yes, but the view will always be the same.
Well, yeah, sorry, the view, I'm talking about the service. You're talking about recommending a bar, the first one, recommending a bar. That would be, whereas AI is actually going to go across the whole spectrum and it should take a balanced view of all of the information it can find on the internet and come back and say, here you go. Based on the majority of people are saying this is a good place to go instead of your mate Dave at the pub.
No, I don't think that's. I don't think it's important, and it sounds important having a balanced view. But what I don't want the shades of grey for content. I want to see the colour. I don't want to be told, on average, this is a great bar, because most bars that exist on average are going to be great. Oh no, sorry, most bars that exist on average are going to be grey, not great. If they don't, then they're going to go out of business. And if they're not grey, I can't afford to go to them. I would like to know the colour. I would like to understand that this was a great place to go because this person did a great cocktail, or don't go on a Friday night because the bartender's in a really bad mood because they're always understaffed. I like to understand a little bit more about the place I'm going to. And we're not focus entirely on just this bar, but if you are having content that's written, it lacks that human. I can't go and say, see, the air conditioning was too hot.
I don't think it lacks. I don't think it lacks the human touch. I think it lacks data. If you were to give it all of the data that you've got there, but the problem is we as humans, we're not gonna put all of that data into a document online for it to be able to use. So if it had, it would be able to give you a far better recommendation than Dave at the pub.
Okay, so if I imagine I'm a content agency or a content writer for a hotel, I can talk about the air conditioning. I can talk about the taste of the cocktails. I can talk about the vibe and the ambience that AI slop cannot do in a way that a human can communicate to another human. I think if you're just doing even if you tell it, I want you to write like a human who has been there. Like one of the things my kids love doing at the minute, and it was the word of the year for last year or this. I can't remember. It's last year or this year. AI slop. Have you come across this yet?
Yeah. No.
AI slop is just really bad AI generated content, and it's just become this subculture of comedy now. So you have my children watch YouTube videos of people laughing at AI generated books. So there's a lot of Christmas books, and one of them, Rudolph, it was something like Santa's Magical Adventure. In one of them, Rudolph has 4 legs, horns, red nose, and a rocket booster out his ass.
Well, I thought that's what Rudolph had anyway.
I didn't want you to find out like this, but they were like, and that's a new that people with 7 fingers and 5 toes, and it's just ridiculous. Like people just not having faces in books,
and only one thumb,
and that's sort of becoming common now. But you have this understanding that it has the potential to be slop.
Yeah, but again, I go back to the point I made at the beginning. AI isn't the problem here. If you use AI and just say, write me this statement or write me this document, it's just going to write something that is generic because, I mean, it's having to make assumptions on your behalf to give back the input that you need.
Okay, so are you saying that the problem here is the prompt, not the technology?
No, it's not even the prompt. I think it's the person.
So who's prompting the AI?
Yeah. So they're not using the tool properly. They're not giving enough information.
So the prompt to AI, not the technology. Yeah. But do you think there's a way? And this is nowhere. This is nothing like even where we started here, kids. So apologies for this.
Well, is it killing creativity? I mean, that's
okay. We're loosely on the. We're still
on that.
We're still loosely on that.
We're talking about AI.
So, do you think that you could prompt an AI to create an article that would have that human level of like nuance to it? The air conditioning was too hot. I had a terrible breakup here. The tacos are great as long as John makes them. Blah 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 blah. And it actually feel like that, because that'd be a great experiment for you and I to do together.
Well, I think you can, yeah, because going back to the point you were making earlier about not being able to think because you're outsourcing thinking. I now can't write any lengthy document. I can't. Because my go-to is going to ChatGPT. But when I did the year in review and I asked ChatGPT to give me it back sarcastically, it took the piss out of me for like my prompts being as long as some Shakespearean novels. All right, thanks very much. But that's because I'm giving it a whole load of information and telling it what I want, exactly how I want it, and then give me an output. Like, some of the white papers that I've put together.
Which are all human generated.
Completely generated by using ChatGPT as a tool.
Yeah.
And we've gone through it paragraph by paragraph, changed bits that I don't want, but a lot of the creativity has come from ChatGPT. I couldn't write some of the jokes or some of the things that they've put in there as frequently because, obviously, you get writer's block, you get tired, whatever it would be, 1,000,001 meetings.
Generally
so for me,
funny person.
like using that as a tool, but I've then put that through an AI or several AI checkers to see whether it's human generated or ChatGPT generated, come back as 100% human generated. And I would say my input in there was probably, if I'm being generous to myself, 30%.
But I can tell when you've written something. And I can tell when
Yeah,
you've
because
not.
it's terrible.
No,
it's by comparison to the polished bit that comes out.
I don't think it's terrible. I think it's human. I can tell. Okay, here's an example. The newsletter on the cruise.
Yes.
I knew that wasn't you, but I
Yeah.
knew it was designed to sound like you.
Yeah.
But that's because I've known you for this long. I know how you write.
Yeah.
And I know your style of writing. And I think you can tell when something's human when it's not.
To be fair, because we're under a time constraint, I didn't
not
give.
put- that's not
No. To be fair, I didn't put in as much information and detail as I normally would to make it sound try and make it sound a little bit more like me. I felt with that piece that you're going out, that you were talking about when that was going out, I felt that it didn't feel exactly how I wanted it to sound. So I agree with you on that one. Whereas other things, I think, again, it's that I've just given an exact example of what AI slop is and why it's killing creativity. Not having the time, not putting the effort in, and not making it sound exactly how it probably should sound.
Yeah. I think there becomes a point where you put so much work into a prompt, you might as well just write it yourself.
But then again, it comes down to skill level. I think you're a better writer than me. I do. I think, before AI, I think you're a better writer than me.
Oh, but post AI, I'm not.
But post AI, my quality of writing has gone up. I feel like the work that I put out, because I'm using a tool that is better than I am creatively, works. More around the humour side of things. Definitely more around the humour. If you want a very technical, very factual thing, then yeah, I can do that all day long. But when it comes to injecting the humour, yeah, I think the level of humour I've been able to put into things has gone up probably fivefold. I mean, you may not find it funny, you may not like it.
Yeah,
but
I think it's a specific type of humour. It's basically 15 years of in-jokes that no one's going to get.
Well, in marketing jokes, I think.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah. There's a little bit of, dad pool going on there.
So, hold on. How long have we been talking?
Quite a bit.
25 minutes? Shit.
How she did that with one thumb, I don't know.
I know.
How did you get that?
25 times.
It's like that, is it?
Did she just prove she's got thumbs on camera?
Did. She just proved she got two of them.
And that's how good AI slop is starting to look.
Yeah,
Okay, because
exactly.
both those thumbs are on one hand.
Yeah, and that was AI generated.
It was
live.
So, I think we've gone around the houses here.
Well, there's only 7 more points to go.
There's only 7 more. So
stay tuned
strap
for
in
the next.
for 3 hours of this. For 3 long hours. Basically, the problem with AI content for hotels is it can very easily dehumanize a very human relationship-led and based industry.
Yeah.
And you might say that, oh no, that starts when you get to the hotel, it starts when you get your key card handed over. I disagree. I think the hospitality industry is about relationships and connection and experiences. And you can't have that if you're outsourcing every single thing you can to a computer.
Well, it starts online. Everything, your image, the impression that somebody gets starts online. All right, it's not the full impression. That doesn't happen until you get to the front desk and you actually make a connection with somebody that, and you start to build what would be a more traditional human relationship. But you've still got an impression, because you can do that. It's branding, isn't it? You can go and talk about, how do you feel about Microsoft compared to Amazon? In terms of brands, how compare that to McDonald's or whatever it would be. They all elicit different emotions and different feelings based on your experience with them and the image that they're projecting and portraying on the world. That's the exact same happens for every hotel. It starts with the first online content, and that shapes how that person feels. More importantly, whether they're going to get the credit card out and actually book online.
Sell the property.
Yeah.
Okay.
For me, I think AI, when used sloppily and incorrectly, is killing creativity. I think using AI as a tool with some imagination, with a lot of human input, with a lot of guidance, giving it the information that it hasn't got, is when it becomes an incredibly useful tool.
Okay.
Are there any other questions on there?
There's loads, mate, but I want a cheese toasty.
Forgot about that. Yes. So, no, actually...
In conclusion...
Look at that. All of them questions
They've
just
gone.
disappeared. Wow.
Invisible ink. Who would have thought about it? Anyway, what do you think? I think it's ripping the soul out of the industry. Trace uses it to make dad jokes. It's all about horses for courses.
Yeah. Is it one thumb good or two thumb good? We just don't know.
Thank you.